Welcome to the Uzziah Show. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome. I'm excited because tonight we're going to talk about why money doesn't fix poverty. This is going to be a controversial topic, guys, because there are so many people that have been taught so many myths about how money works that because we don't understand how the game is really played, we tend to believe delusions. In this broadcast, we're going to talk about why money doesn't fix poverty, but how, if money, if used in the right way, can change the world. So, if you guys want to be on board for this, please make sure you leave me a comment below. Let me know your name and the city that you're from so I can give you a shout out and show you some love. If this is the first time that you're watching, welcome. My name is Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help you get out of debt so you can start your own business. And I put these shows together to help you learn how to create generational wealth by helping you know the mindset that is needed in order to build a legacy. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all know I don't want to waste no time. If you're on, make sure that you smash the like button. And if you guys love what this show is about, then please donate. Give a super chat, okay? You could also use Cash App or PayPal. The link is in the description below. Now, I want to start this off by going over an article that recently surfaced in the news. By the time that you walk away from this show, you're going to know exactly how to keep yourself out of poverty, regardless of how much money you make. This is going to be very important. We're going to talk about why poverty isn't a function of money, but rather something else. Okay, so let's check out this article. Now, recently there was a tweet that went out that was directed to Elon Musk. And this article says that Elon Musk tweets that he is willing to spend $6 billion to fight world hunger on one condition. After being name dropped by a UN official who said that just a small percentage of a fortune of Elon Musk's $300 billion could help solve world hunger, the Tesla CEO tweeted his own challenge. Explain how $6 billion will fix the problem, and he'll sell Tesla stock right now. So I want you to look at this. Somebody went on social media and said that 2% of Elon Musk's wealth could solve world hunger. Elon then responds to it and says, put together the plan, and if it's effective, I'll send the $6 billion right now. Okay. Now, on October 26th, David Beasley, the director of UN's World Food Program, told CNN that it was time for the ultra wealthy to step up now on a one-time basis. $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. It's not complicated, he said, specifically mentioning Musk and Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, the two richest men in the world. Now, do me a favor, guys. Don't make any assumptions about what I'm going to say regarding this article. I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to take a stance that, oh man, money wouldn't solve anything. The reason why we all work for money is because money solves things. It changes things. But I'm trying to go deeper beyond the surface of this conversation. The reason why I'm going over this article and sharing it with you is because part of the thought process of how this conversation started contributes to some of the myths that you have about money and why it may be harder for you to create generational wealth. Okay. So it is true that there are millions of people around the world that can and unfortunately very well will die of starvation. What is the solution? On Sunday, Musk tweeted, if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now. So Elon Musk, he's not running from this. In a follow-up tweet, Musk added that the UN's plan must include open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent. Now, guys, I want y'all to think about this. One of the reasons why wealthy people become wealthy is because they don't just spend their money in random places. One of the key indicators of wealth creation is knowing where the money is going, right? So it's not far-fetched for Elon Musk to respond and say, okay, I'll put the money up, but you've got to give public accounting on where this money is going, because organizations, just like people, upon getting the money, may not use it in the right way. Bear with me. We're going to go deeper into this, guys. Okay. Like I said, don't presume what I'm going to say. Don't think that I'm coming from some type of political group to say, oh, everybody got to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. No, that's not what this is about at all. I'm here purely talking money. So that way you know how to think about it. Okay. If you think like the average person when it comes to money, you'll be just like everybody else that says all you need to do is just throw a dollar at something and then magically everything will be fixed. Okay. We got to think differently. Beasley responded to Musk's tweet a few hours later, offering to be on the next flight to you and saying that the executive can throw me out if you don't like what you hear. Beasley also said that while the $6 billion figure wouldn't solve world hunger, it will prevent global political instability, mass migration, and save 42 million people on the brink of starvation. CNN had erroneously reported that the money would solve world hunger, but later corrected its headline to say 2% of Musk's fortune could help solve world hunger. Now, dig this. In the midst of all of this talking, Dr. Eli David made another tweet and says, fact check, 2% of Elon Musk's wealth is 6 billion. Yeah, Dr. Eli, you pocket watching on that one. It says 2% of Elon Musk's wealth is $6 billion. In 2020, the UN World Food Program raised $8.4 billion. How come it didn't solve world hunger? So this becomes part of the problem as we uncover the reasons why money does not fix poverty. You got people that's out here tweeting that 2% of one man's wealth could solve world hunger, but yet the very organization that stakes the claim has more money than the 2% of the other man's wealth. So the question is, how come if you have 4x the amount of the 2% that how come if you have $2 million more, right? Elon's 2% is worth 6 billion. You just in 1 year alone raised 8.4 billion. How come that didn't solve it? Because money doesn't fix poverty. Money, if used in the right way, can help to change things. But the problem is money just on its own doesn't fix situations. This is the reason why Musk continually asked for the organization to do a public accounting of how it spends its money. Right here, he says sunlight is a wonderful thing. In other words, okay, if Elon Musk puts $6 billion towards helping to solve world hunger, make sure that the nonprofit organizations that receives the money actually takes the money to go and feed people rather than lining their own pockets. We've seen different organizations. I ain't gonna name no names, but we've seen different organizations receive windfalls of money. And rather than that money change the condition of the people within the community, a lot of people took that money to buy themselves big houses, nice cars. So we got to be clear on what makes the difference. Okay. I want to show y'all before we think about money alone, we must consider that money is a mindset. Once you are given any amount of money, it's still up to you on what you're going to do with it. Right. And there's so many people with a lottery mindset that, oh man, you know what? If all I did was win the lottery, then that would fix all of my problems. First off, let's be clear. Money does not fix every problem. Some of the richest men in the world have been some of the most depressed people, people that have some of the worst relationships, going through divorces, died young. So we got to be clear to deconstruct the myth that money itself solves everything. If money solved everything, Steve Jobs would still be alive today because the man was clearly a billionaire, one of the world's greatest innovators. But money alone could not fix his situation. The reason why I'm paying attention to this is because there are a lot of people throughout the world that truly believe that their outcomes in life have nothing to do with mindset, but rather if their circumstances were different, then everything would change. If you have the wrong mindset, you're going to work your way back to whatever circumstances that you were in prior to you getting whatever blessing of money. Prime example, people that win the lottery. When a lot of times when people win the lottery, they'll get millions of dollars and then within a few short years go back into the poorhouse. Look at how many NFL players work so hard to get themselves into the league, to get themselves out of poverty. And then within a few short years after leaving the league, they're just as broke as they were before they entered it. Check out the documentary, 30 for 30 Broke. All these multi-million dollar athletes who, just on the strength of the money alone, should have been set for life. But because of their mindset and not having good financial literacy, they ran themselves into the ground. Money first begins in the mind, guys. I know y'all don't want to hear that because it doesn't sound sexy, but it's true. No matter how much money is given to you, it's still up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. I'm going to give you guys another example. Think about certain stories of people who might have been morbidly obese that ended up getting like some kind of bypass surgery. And then they end up getting things like liposuction and all of these different maneuvers to take out their weight. But then within a few short years, some of these people end up reverting back to being overweight. It's not just about a one-time event. It's about the process that got you in the condition. You could get all the surgeries that you want, but if you're not living a lifestyle where you're able to maintain a healthy weight, you're always going to revert back to the old circumstance. Doesn't matter if you win a lottery. If you still have a poor mindset when it comes to your money, you're going to revert your way back to the situation that you always found yourself in. Okay. And see, this is the reason why, honestly, it's such a hard time having a discussion about reparations. Because while some of us would actually come up off of getting that money and it would make a world of difference, you also have others who would blow the money as soon as they got it. And I'm not talking about people that consciously think that that's what they're going to do. A lot of people that win the lottery, they don't say to themselves, okay, I just won it, I'm going to spend it all tomorrow. But because their habits are so deeply ingrained, they can't stop themselves from being who they always are. So if they were loaded in debt before they win the lottery, they're going to do things that'll put them right back in a debt after they've won it. I told you guys, myself personally, I'm going to use myself as an example. I paid off over $95,000 in student loans 2 years after I graduated from college. I was 23 years old. 3 years later, I went back into racking up almost as much money as I owed from the time that I went out of college. I had to go through the entire process of getting back out of debt again. You know the reason why? Because once I got out of debt, I convinced myself that, oh man, you know what? The world is my oyster now. I've got all this money. I could throw some money here. I could throw some money there. And when I let go of the mindset that got me out of debt, I went right back into debt all over again. Now, during that time, I was getting all of this mentoring, I was getting coaching, I was traveling, I was making a very strong investment into my business, and many of those principles still stick with me today. But the point that I'm making is that whoever it is that you are in terms of your mindset, your financial situation will always follow. Whether you got $0, $1,000, $1,000,000, $10 million, um, as they say, a fool and his money is soon parted. I'm not saying that about you. I'm saying, however you are with money, typically is the way that you will always be, regardless of your financial situation. Okay. Shout out to my brother, Yasha Allah. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate your support, King. You are definitely helping to keep this show going. Guys, for those of you that want to donate, all you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box in order to give a super chat donation. If you want to give a donation through Cash App or PayPal, you can free to do so as well. Now, look at what LA for Life said. I know a lot of y'all ain't going to like this. A lot of y'all going y'all going to end up leaving after this, man, but just stick with us, okay? And give me y'all's comments. I got a question. For you, okay? Can money fix poverty? This is my question to you. Okay. I want you to know up front, there's no wrong answer. I just want to be able to get y'all's feedback and I want to get y'all's rationale. Can money fix poverty? I'm going to give you guys a link for y'all to cam up with me if you want to have a further discussion. Now, LA for Life says, oh, yes, indeed. The Black church has brought in over $420 billion over 20 plus years. Neighborhoods are still impoverished right here in LA. I really wish that this sister was lying on everything that she's saying right now. But unfortunately, what she just brought out is the sad truth. Okay. Um, Man, what's going on? Juice, you said you tried doing your pledge. The max was $5. Um, Maybe there may be a challenge, at least on Google, and trying to do the cash app and trying to do the super chat. Try to see if you could do it again. Maybe start YouTube over or something like that. If not, try to send it through Cash App instead. $ the Uzziah Show. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. YouTube, they take 30% of all of the super chat money. Okay. I just want to be very open with y'all on that. So that way y'all have a public accounting of where that money is going. If you want me to get the money 100%, Cash App. Okay. $ the Uzziah Show. But the super chats, they're still very, very, very much needed and appreciated because people got to see stuff on the screen and people need to know that the donations are going on. So if you end up cash apping me, okay, just send me a message and let me know that you sent it. All right. So that way I give y'all a shout out whenever you do your cash apps. So that way I can make the announcement. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. I'm seeing all of the comments on that. I'm seeing that a lot of y'all wasn't privy to that. Listen, brothers and sisters, we're doing the best that we can on this platform. The super chats, they are still very much needed and valuable to keep the show going on YouTube. Okay. As y'all know, we do these shows on YouTube to keep the show going. So the super chats are still very much so needed. I'm just putting this out here just for y'all's awareness. All right. Don't kill me. And yes, Juice, you were correct on that question. All right. So LA for Life says, yes, indeed, the Black church has brought in over $420 billion over 20 plus years. Neighborhoods are still impoverished right here in LA too. Okay, y'all definitely gotta consider the fact that in a situation like this, it's not about the money. It's about where the money is going. And that's the reason why Elon Musk said to the World Hunger Organization, okay, show me exactly where the money is going. Don't just come up off of me and the money is going to different places, right? It's not just about the money, it's about how the money is used. All right. So, for those of y'all that are just now joining, make sure that you smash that like button. That will go a long way towards telling YouTube to send this out to more people. Okay. Hey, listen, LA for life. Yes, I get it, my sister. I get it. Trust me. Trust me. I understand. But, this is what it is, and we got to do what we got to do. So, y'all, however you best feel you want to donate, feel free to do so. Okay. Kim McGrory says money cannot fix poverty. There are generations of poverty mindset and habits. We learn a lot, positive and negative, from those who raised us. We have to choose differently. Absolutely. We have to make decisions with the money that we make. We learned that in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. See, the thing is this, guys. Did you know that the average American will make $1 million over the course of their life? The average working class American over the course of their lifetime will have made $1 million in total. But the reason why most of us will never have anything to show for it is not because we didn't make the money. It's because of what we did. What we did with the money made all the difference. And you really made an incredible point right here. You said it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep through saving, investing, passive income, and multiple means of income through different passive income streams. Now, let's talk about this, guys. I'm so happy that Kim just said that, because I'm going to share with you guys another article on how we used our stimulus money. Okay. So, the $6 trillion that was spent during the start of, what? I can't say that because I don't want YouTube to demonetize me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the iris. That thing right there had America spend $6 trillion for relief efforts to American families. Now we're going to look and see how that money was spent. So I'm going to pull up the article, okay? So that way y'all can see this. Notice what it says right here. It says how Americans spent their stimulus check. I'm going to just go to the top. This is a Forbes article. Here's how Americans spent their stimulus checks. We're going to scroll down and we're going to get to the point. First stimulus check. Americans spent 74% of all of the money that they got. They saved 14% of it, and 11% of it went towards paying off debt. Second stimulus check, spent 22% of it, saved 26% of it, paid off debt. Third stimulus check, spent 19% of it, saved 32% of it, 49% paid off debt. Now, I'll be the first to say that I liked how people spent the money on the second and third stimulus. All of this money that you end up getting, you spend it all. See, this contributes to the reason why money doesn't fix poverty. Because as soon as you get the money, it's going right out of your hands because you're giving it all to other places that has no residual effect towards you. Okay. If we're going to allow money to fix our lives, we have to make wise decisions with the money once we've got it. And we've got to come up with ways to retain and reproduce money. Money is designed for it to flow to and fro. Okay. So when we talk about how to allow money to fix things, you got to understand, okay, when you get the money, where is it going to go? We talked about how money is a mindset. You can't out earn stupid. There's a lot of people that'll make $100,000 and they'll spend $150,000. You get people that'll make 150, they'll spend like they're making 200,000. They're always going to spend beyond their means. So we know that money alone is not going to fix their problem because they have a bad mindset of how money is to be used, regardless of how much money they make. But not only do we need to have a mindset of spending below our means, you also need a way to retain the money that you have, right? Because one thing that you need to think about is if you don't have a way of retaining the money, all of it will fall out of your hands. So when we think about things like, um, you know, uh, the property that you live in, the food that you end up buying, the people that win during all of these times where stimulus money is being given out is the companies that will absorb it. You see, there's different diagrams about how the rich will have money and they'll give out a small stream of it to the middle class, and then the middle class will flow that money right back through the rich, all because the middle class doesn't have economic systems of being able to retain and reproduce money. Here's what I mean when I say retain and reproduce money. You need to have a way of being able to invest that money well beyond saving, because nobody gets rich off of saving money. If you've been watching my broadcasts, you'll know that hyperinflation is on the rise. And if all you're doing is saving money when you have it, it is not going to help you. The value of a dollar is weakening. Okay. This is the reason why, even if you are sitting on a lot of money, that money shouldn't just be in the bank account, because even the bank is wise enough to take your money and do something with it. Do y'all know that, guys? You know that when you put your money in your bank, right, regardless of the account that it's sitting in, it's going to take the money that you put in the bank in the account, and it's going to loan it out to other people. This is how people get mortgages, car notes, personal loans. They take your money and they do something with it. The point that I'm making is everybody else is doing something with their money. The question is, why aren't you? You need a system in place to be able to retain the money, whether that's through a different investment stream, or you need a way to reproduce money, whether that's through you establishing your own businesses. Okay. Money is not meant to just sit somewhere. Money is meant to flow. That's the reason why over $1 trillion flows through the economy every single day. Okay. So this is one of the primary things that we need to do to make sure that we build wealth long term. I know that some of you guys out there are thinking, well, how would this apply, Uzziah? If I get, $1 million, who cares if I just let it all sit in the bank? Because if I don't, as long as I don't touch the money, then I'm good to go. But again, that mindset that you have right there, that's the reason why you don't come up on that $1 million. You would have the $1 million if you had the mindset that you start where you are, take money, invest, take money, start building multiple streams of income, take money and put it towards other businesses that can be used to recycle money back into your community. See, that I'm gonna just hoard the money mindset, that be the reason why a lot of y'all's incomes will level off right now, because you never think about, okay, not how do I invest the money, how do I keep it all to myself? But in you not having much, there's no way you can multiply your dollars. All this comes back from the Bible. Remember the parable of the talents? When you take those talents and you multiply them, that's a function of investing. But because we don't invest and make wise decisions with the money that we have, poverty will follow us wherever we go. So now I got you on board, Yasha Allah. Welcome to the broadcast. What do you think about tonight's subject? Why doesn't money fix poverty?
Shalom, big brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Real quick before you start, I'm sorry, sir. Let's get these likes up, y'all. Okay. We got folks that are online and we need to smash this like button, man. As soon as I told y'all about YouTube pocketing the money, I know that took wind out of y'all's sails, man. But listen, we're doing what we gotta do. Continue to support, okay? Continue to smash that like button, continue to donate, continue to super chat. If you want to use Cash App or PayPal, the links are in the description below. Now, Yasha Allah, what you got for us?
Yeah. Other days I was just late. I was just tired. So the age, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir. Glad you got some rest.
but you're correct. Like I said, I didn't know about it either. I was just trying to keep all my money to myself until you was teaching me that hey, allocate your money for others to do will relieve your time stress. You know what I mean? You could do other things, invest or study or whatever.
Right.
And I did that because I would try. Me personally, old video you see me working on my truck. I ain't paying them $80 to fix my truck, but I'm there for 8 hours. You try to learn how to do it. You
Yes,
know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? But you're correct. And like the stimulus, I drive a truck and I haul for the port system, and people are just blowing their money. I'm like, people. I just shake my head. It's like you don't see the stores empty. You just don't. But it's important to have your mind, like Sister said, or who made that statement, that we've been taught wrong all our life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not what's the future, project what's going to happen, or be that predicament. If it did happen, at least you'd be safeguarded in somewhat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. What you bring up is such an important point because a lot of times one of the reasons why a lot of us end up going into poverty is because we feel like we landed on some money. Sometimes when we don't have a lot of money, we might be a little bit tighter with it. But then when we feel like we've got a good amount of it, okay, we just spend, and we never think about, okay, you know what? Let me get on a budget. We never think about, okay, well, you know what? Am I saving for a rainy day? Do I have insurance established? Do I have different investment funds that I've got money in? Like we don't think about, not all money is right now money, but even for tomorrow money, we don't even think about how to manage that well. So, I would love if, all of these rich guys just out of the goodness of their heart just opened the floodgates and we all came up off of their wealth. But the problem is, even if that happened, there's only but so many of us that would actually take the money and do something effective with it. A lot of people, even when given the money, is going right back out of their pockets. Because again, even when we look at the stimulus, right? Think about how it said that money was used. Some of the money was spent, some of the money was saved, some of the money went towards debt. But people, even when getting the money, are not even in the most well-equipped place to actually build wealth from it. We got so many people that's so loaded with the debts from the decisions that they made from before that all of their money is still going, into all of these other corporations. So, the point that I'm making is we got to get ourselves to a place where we can get ahead and we can stay ahead. And it doesn't just happen when you land on a windfall of money. It happens when you gear your mindset towards long-term decisions of creating generational wealth starting today. And you could do that regardless of how much money you make.
And you're correct. And like you said, when I was younger, I had a lot of money, and I blowed it. You know what I'm saying? Working and doing other things. We did it
Right.
at that. You know what I'm saying? Getting 20,000 now, 50, ain't no problem. I wasn't even thinking about tomorrow or the following year. You know what I'm saying? At all. That wasn't even on my mind. I'm
Right.
living it right now while I can. And then I'm 60, like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. You start calculating, like, retirement. I wasted a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? I wasn't taught that. Hey, make
Right.
money, and I hope the younger generation see me. Because yeah, hey, I'm telling you, you better get information where it's today. You better get down, because if you don't, time can get harder. You're like, I don't have even a nest egg for me. You know what I'm saying? Teach your kids, like, because I didn't teach my kids. I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? And when they get the money, the stimulus, I'd be so upset because I'm trying, hey, take this, put it over here. Take this, put it over here. And the funny thing is, they follow my footsteps, blow the money. And I feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
like, oh, don't do what I did. Just don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got tattoos. Kids got tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Mine's
Hmm.
right here, right there.
Hmm.
But the kids got they following. My dad got tattoos. We following instead of look. No. Get these finances. I'm trying to
Right.
show you now about these finances, because one day you're gonna be my age. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And you don't want to be or go to hard times, or like you said, your medical or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And luckily I'm military, so that plays a good part too. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't
Absolutely.
have that coverage just in case. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. But you're right. We got to look different about saving, and it's discipline. It all comes with discipline. You can get all the money you want in the world. You ain't got discipline. Your spending habits, you'll be broke. It's that simple. You know what I mean? You can get a
Absolutely.
million. Cause didn't Dave Chappelle make that joke?
Yeah,
If
they
he
they
won the
they gave
lotto,
that money.
you're right.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Phone bill got paid, car notes got paid. You
Yeah.
be broke because we live that lifestyle, don't realize what we're doing. You know, it's a bad thing. I hate it because we never taught. The system set up.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Man, you would have loved yesterday's show, Yasha Allah, because we were just talking about that very subject, that one day, the day's going to come where you would have wished that you had not ran through money in a certain kind of way. Yesterday I did a show about us millennials, and how the average millennial is financially screwed because they're going off of an outdated format on how to be able to preserve wealth. They don't understand that if we're going to really level up, we got to start considering other avenues of making money, such as making multiple streams of income, getting in different investing markets, be it stock and or crypto, as well as real estate. America is not the same America that it once was, where you could work at one job for the next 40 years. And then once you retire, you're being handed a pension and Social Security. By the time, I become your age, Lord's will, ain't gonna be no Social Security for me. You know what I mean? And so that's why, your message, it hits home so hard, because you always tell us, hey, there's gonna come a day you will wish that you didn't make some of the silly decisions that you made with money. And I'm right there with you, man, because Lord willing, one day I'll be able to tell my son, don't waste money the ways that I did when I was, young, all the way up until my 20s and early 30s. Make sure that when make sure that you understand what sunk cost is. A lot of my money went towards things that became a sunk cost. Okay. If I would have taken all of the money that I had just in sunk costs alone and put it towards an investment from the time that I've been born, oh man, I'd easily be a millionaire, probably multi-millionaire. So, we got to just think about how we are managing our money and what we do with it. Like I said before, the average person never realizes that over the course of their entire lifetime, they've made $1 million. It's just that most people will never see that amount of money, because we've never had enough consciousness on what to do with the money when we get it. Okay. Anything else you got for us, Yashala, before we get out of here?
And like you said, the new millenniums, it's funny. You know what I mean? And like I tell people, so I give me a show and everything else. I said it's not about spending. money for other people. Small things I'll do for my truck. Don't get me wrong, because I like trucking. I always have liked trucking. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean? And but the new millennium truck drivers, I want to own a truck, but you didn't put no grease on your fifth wheel. What's a
Yeah.
fifth wheel?
Hmm.
Dude, you learned that in school, remember? I don't remember.
Right.
Or you change a light bulb. It's only $20, 10 minutes. But you gonna spend $400 for them to change it at the truck stop? That makes no sense. You
Right.
know what I mean? The new millennium don't want to do. They don't want to cut no grass. They don't want to do no jumper cables. They don't want. You right. They're not worried about nothing. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
See, maybe the Lord didn't have you on that broadcast yesterday for a reason, because you would have told us millennials how bad we are when it comes to us working. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. I think and once again, as always, thank you for the super chats, man. Y'all
Bro.
please keep the super chats going, y'all. All right, y'all hear me, LA for life, and everybody else. We need the super chats going because we need to tell YouTube to keep promoting the show on air. When we do the super chats and the donations, people are able to get their info on the screen. It does a lot in terms of helping to keep the show on air, y'all. All right. So for those of y'all that love this broadcast, please make sure that you donate. All you got to do is tap the super chat icon below, or you could do Cash App or PayPal if you want to send the money that way. The links are in the descriptions below. Thank you as always, my brother. Always a pleasure to see you. All right, now. So, why money doesn't fix poverty? Okay. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on the matter. Can money fix poverty? Maybe money can if the person has the right mind to do something with the money. If people have the right mindset to create systems to end world hunger, the system is what will sustain it. It's not just the money alone. Okay. Because again, even if you just throw money at anything, it's still up to the nature of the person on what they're going to do with it. So when we manage our personal finances and create generational wealth, we must be very mindful of this. It's not the money alone, it is the mindset on how we spend the dollar. It is also the systems that we established personally to keep our money preserved. This is the reason why I'm always telling you guys to invest in real estate, stocks, cryptocurrency, and other assets. Okay. You need to start creating assets to make sure that you have strong wealth retention. Nobody builds wealth just by saving money, guys. Okay. And you need to make sure that even with the wealth that you have, you start creating new income streams so that way you can reproduce money. Okay. Because another thing that y'all got to think about is, what if we make a stronger shift to digital currency instead of the US dollar? If all you're thinking about is just saving and hoarding, you will get left behind when other new currencies are created. Okay. No matter what you do, as long as you focus on your mindset and your systems, that will bring the wealth as a byproduct of your decision making. Okay. Julio E. Thompson asks, question: I received a letter that I have built $2,000 in equity. Should I cash it to pay credit card debt? When you say that you've built $2,000 in equity, are you talking about from your home, Julio? Because if that's coming from your home, then you would have to take out a home equity line of credit just to be able to pull the equity and then put towards your credit card debt. So let me know, when you were talking about that 2,000 in equity, where's that coming from? Which, by the way, for those of y'all that are trying to link up with me privately, I just opened up the doors to my consultations. Okay. I know that for a long time, the only way that y'all were able to really tap in with me is if you worked with me through a show. Julio, how much do you have in your credit card debt? That's something important that I would need to know. If it was up to me personally, I would just pay off the debt in cash. I would leave the equity in the account. Honestly, the only time that I would ever think about taking the equity out of a property is if I'm using the equity to buy another property to build up my real estate portfolio. I really wouldn't think to take my equity out of the home and use it in any other way, unless it was like an extremely dire emergency. I've been telling y'all, for the longest time, that I bought this property in Austin for $200,000, and now it's valued at over $500,000. I've never taken the equity out of this property. And so I definitely don't advise for you guys to take out HELOCs. Again, like I said, unless you plan on being like a full throttle real estate investor and you buy one property and you pull that equity out of the property, you get another property. Unless you're playing that game, I would advise most of y'all to keep your equity exactly where it's at. So that way you don't keep taking out different lines of credit, using credit to get rid of another credit. If I were you, Julio, I would set up your budget on mint.com. I would have a category set aside called debt. And then at the end of every month, whatever you were able to effectively not spend, I would take that portion and just throw it strictly at the credit cards every month. Some of you guys may resolve to do that at the very beginning of the month. Okay, before you even start going out spending, you put a certain amount towards paying off the debt. You could do that as well, guys. Okay, but that's what I would do. But for those of you guys, maybe you got a situation going on, you don't feel comfortable asking it on the show, make sure that you book a session. Okay, I've just opened up slots for you guys to book a session with me where I will work with you privately for 1 hour in the month of November. Okay, so all you got to do is tap here to book a session. Okay, I'm putting the link in the comments below, and then you guys will have access to me and we can kind of work out anything that you've got going on. Now, y'all always know, as with every show, I give you guys 2 free stocks. Okay, our sponsor, Webull, is one of the fastest growing financial brokerage companies in the world. And on Webull, you can not only invest in stocks alone, but you can also invest in cryptocurrencies. So for those of you guys that are trying to look for places to grow your wealth, please make sure that you set up your account. Okay, they're giving away these stocks for free. All you need to do is get started. Okay, guys. So listen, we're going to be back on here tomorrow, Lord willing. Make sure that you tune in. Also, guys, for those of y'all that are on, please give me an answer on that poll. I put out a poll recently about what times you want the Uzziah show to start. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I think some of y'all are capping, man. I think some of y'all are capping because y'all will tell me, okay, I wanted the show to be at 7 o'clock Central, but I always tend to notice that the turnout is stronger at 8 o'clock than it is at 7. So don't just be saying something just because you don't want to change. If you really do be showing up at 8 o'clock, let me know what time works best for y'all to join. There's no point in me doing these shows if there's going to be so many of y'all that this time isn't the right fit. So let me know and leave me a comment on what time works best for you. My job is to help as many of us as possible on air. Okay, so with that being said, y'all, right now I want to take the time to give a shout out to the official sponsor of tonight's broadcast, Yasha Allah prevailed with the $20 super chat. See, this is the reason why Yasha Allah, I've been telling people, make the super chats. Some I'm not seeing anything on the Cash App. Okay, I know Juice, you was saying that you was trying to make the pledge forth. I'm not seeing anything on my end. So for any of y'all that are looking to donate, you can still give a super chat. If you're watching this broadcast after the show is over, you can give a super thanks on YouTube. We can still use YouTube, guys. Okay. And also, if you want me to walk away with 100% of the donation that you give, totally understandable. That's the reason why I give you all these options for Cash App, $ the Uzziah Show, or you can use PayPal. The links are in the description below. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate all of y'all's support. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that smashed that like button. Thank you for everybody that joined in. Please, guys, don't make this show be a secret. Please go out and share this broadcast with your family and friends, because I work really hard to give y'all as much free game as possible. I cannot do this without your support. I thank you so much for all that you do. Until next time, keep pushing.